Hello everyone, it is Erin Floto here, and I'm here with a 10 tips video for you. And the topic today is imposter syndrome and comparison, and I struggle with both of those. So this is going to be a lot of fun to be introspective and ask myself, why am I able to tell you this, but not live it myself. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So number one is celebrating small wins. So this is for you personally. There are other people that exist in the world that you are comparing yourself to, and you may feel like an imposter syndrome in your community, but it is important to celebrate your small wins because you are the only you that there is. You are the only person that has lived your experiences, that has brought to the table what you have brought to the table. So celebrating your small wins. Just because someone over here has landed a book deal doesn't mean that you can't celebrate your 1,000 followers on Instagram, for example. This win is still important because it is important to you and your growth and your progress. So no win is too small to celebrate it. And of the same vein is celebrating others. Because you had your small win, 1,000 followers on Instagram, doesn't mean that you can't celebrate this person's book deal. It is a huge accomplishment for them. And if you were in their shoes, you would want them to celebrate you as well, right? Because as a community, it really helps to uplift each other and to celebrate each other. So celebrate your small wins, but don't be afraid to celebrate others. Jealousy is not fun. I understand that it is a natural emotion, but it's not fun to experience. So take the jealousy out of the equation and think about how you would want folks to treat you if you were celebrating a really, really big win. And you wouldn't want others to see you in such a negative light, so you shouldn't see them in a negative light. And number three is to spend less time comparing yourself to others. Again, you are the only you. And I know that's number 10. So don't look at that. But that's where this is all coming back to. So if you are comparing yourself to another account, for example, maybe you have been on the internet a different amount of time. Maybe they were at the right place at the right time with the right video to take off on social media, for example. When you're comparing apples and oranges, it's not going to help anyone in the situation. You are your account, your own person, your own idea, your own entity, and they are theirs, right? So it is always going to be an apples and oranges scenario, and spending your time comparing yourself to something that is not the same as you is not helpful for anyone, for you, for them, for your overall community, when you want your community to all be doing well. Number 4 is building a support network. So this is something that I truly, truly believe in. People that have the same type of situation going on as you, again, still apples and oranges to compare, but you have a community of friends in that space that you guys can lean on and support each other with, right? So for me, for example, I have several wonderful groups of friends that are on Instagram that are all bullet journaling, lettering, art type accounts. And we talk, right? Because we want to know how people are experiencing different things. We talk about things outside of any sort of business, Instagram, social media type thing. We talk about our lives, all that kind of stuff, because supporting each other doesn't mean just supporting each other in the space that we're in. It means supporting the person that they are outside of that space as well. So building a support network. I would never take the time to compare myself to other people in my support network, because that would hinder our friendship. So if you have a relationship with folks in that community, you're less likely to spend time comparing yourself to them because it would affect your relationship with them. So building the support network not only helps you when it comes to comparing yourself to others, or feeling like you are an imposter in your community, because you are part of that community, because you have that support network around you. Number 5 is acknowledge and release. At the end of the day, we all have these types of emotions. We all have jealousy. We all have, feelings like you're an imposter. We all are comparing ourselves to others. So acknowledge how you feel and then just let it go. I know that is easier said than done. I totally understand. But acknowledging how you feel is also equally as important. Just acting like it's not there isn't fair to you, and it isn't fair to your situation that you're in. Your feelings are valid in this situation, so acknowledge them and then cast them aside, right? I acknowledge that I'm jealous that my friend's YouTube account took off. But you know what? I am happy for them. I am celebrating their win. I am releasing that jealousy, because they probably, and I do this to myself, especially because, I'm not doing this full time. So again, I'm comparing apples to oranges. They are an amazing creator with amazing ideas, with amazing content, and I have different ideas. I have different things going on. I am not doing it full time. I don't like editing videos, so I tend to just do these over videos, right, where it's just an overhead shot, but I talk about my feelings in them, and so that's going to be good for some people, and their type of account might be good for other types of people, right? So take some time, acknowledge your feelings of jealousy, acknowledge your feelings that you feel like an imposter in your community, cast them aside after that. You said, yep, that's how I feel, but I'm not throwing myself a pity party, right? I am who I am. If I wanted to be a bigger account, maybe I should spend more time learning how to edit videos. But anyways, cast it aside, and use it as motivation, right? Like I said, maybe I want to spend more time learning how to edit videos, and I'll have that same type of win to celebrate with the people in my community that care about me. Number 6 is finding a mentor. I have done this, not necessarily in the bullet journaling type world, but at my full-time career job, I have an amazing mentor. She is someone that I can bounce ideas off of. She is so uniquely smart, so uniquely poised in her position. She's only a couple years away from retirement now, but she has spent years with me, really imparting really helpful pieces of knowledge that make me feel like I'm not an imposter, that I know what I'm doing, that I don't need to compare myself to someone else at my work, because we do different types of work, right? And just because they got an award and I didn't get an award doesn't mean anything, because the type of work that I do is extremely valuable, right? So finding a mentor to bounce ideas off of, to listen to you, to help you, to guide you is really, 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 really helpful. So definitely take time to try to find that in your community, at your work, in the bullet journaling world. Number 7 is to lean on the facts. So you have facts on your side for why you are a good worker, that you are not an imposter in your work. For me, leaning on the facts is getting views on my videos in this social media world. It is really hard to get views on things. And I can lean on the fact that there are people that follow me, that there are people that subscribe to me, that there are people that comment on my videos. It doesn't have to be a lot of people, but I made a community, and I can lean on the fact that my community really leans on each other, and that I helped create this community, but they have all created a community within themselves also, right? So you can lean on those facts that you have created something, you have numbers, you have blah, 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 right? You don't have to feel like an imposter in your own community. If you are part of that community, if you are active in that community, and if you have a following in that community, or even if you haven't gotten such an engaged community yet, you could be steps away there. You could be a video away from having a wonderful community on your side. So leaning on the facts of the situation. Number 8 is self-care and compassion. So this kind of goes with the acknowledge and release situation. Treat yourself with care. If you are feeling like you're an imposter that day, that everything you've worked for is nothing compared to someone else, for example, then give yourself some gratitude, give yourself some grace, give yourself a little bit of self-care and compassion. Let yourself feel that way. Give yourself the love that you need. You know, maybe this is leaning on daily affirmations, right? I am enough. I am strong. I am a warrior. Maybe it is lifting yourself up and giving yourself compassion. And again, maybe do a little bit of self-care activities. For me, a lot of my self-care right now is taking a step away from social media. I'm very burnt out, and I know that, and it makes me feel like an imposter. It makes me feel like I'm not doing enough in comparison to others, but I know that's what I need at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and take a step away, and that is my form of self-care. Number 9 is owning your failures. You know what? We are not always going to win. And that is a really crappy feeling to have, for sure. But it is the reality of every single situation for every single person in every single world that you live in. You are going to fail, and owning that is important. You may have messed up, but you've learned something for the future, right? So owning your failure and progressing from it. It is not a terrible thing to fail in this world, because it gives you so many learning opportunities to figure out what is right for you, what you need to do, what you should do from there, and rebuild what is going on in your life. So owning your failures is an important part of comparison and imposter syndrome, because you may have failed, but so has everyone in your community. You want to compare yourself to the fact that everyone has messed up at least once in their life. And number 10, I'm going to bring this all back. You are the only you. You are the only person that has experienced the way you have lived your world. No one else has had the exact same walk of life as you. So no one else can be compared to you. No one else in your community has lived the same life that you have. So why do you feel like an imposter in that world? You are the only one that has lived that. So you can't be an imposter in that world if you're the only person that has lived that world, because you're not the imposter here. You are you. You are the only you that there is. So take some time, celebrate your wins, celebrate others, take a step back from comparing yourself. Use your support network and your mentors to build yourself up. Acknowledge your feelings and give yourself a little bit of self-care. Own your failures. Know what you have done and know where you are going. And remember, you are the only you in this world. I hope that video is helpful for you when it comes to dealing with imposter syndrome and comparison. So thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.